About Prop 64?
Yes, yes.
I think Prop 64 is a very poorly written piece of legislation that is clearly all about big profits for that industry, and it lacks consideration for public safety and public health. Yes, so our peers in Washington and Colorado certainly have been experiencing the negative impacts of the legalization of recreational adult use marijuana. And one of the areas that is significant for us is when they tell us that in Washington, 50% of their car fatalities, it's up. Their car fatalities are up 50%. In Colorado, they're up 23%. So clearly the legalization of the use of marijuana for adults has impacted traffic safety. It has increased fatal collisions, and that negatively impacts the state because there's a cost. There's a cost of human life, and there's a cost in the court system, there's a cost in the health system. So those are impacts that we need to be very much aware of when we consider legalization in California. So in Denver, the regulation states that marijuana activity cannot occur in a distance within 1,000 feet of a school or a daycare center. Prop 64 allows for marijuana sales or activities within 600 feet of a K through 12 school or daycare or a facility, a preschool. And what it doesn't do is take into consideration parks, toy stores, malls, other places where we have children's presence. And so the consequence is going to be challenging for local communities to prohibit the activity of marijuana in their communities. And if we look at what happened with alcohol sales and alcohol stores, you see that in most of the most fragile communities and neighborhoods, they are impacted with alcohol stores. And I think we will see the same impact with marijuana sales in those fragile neighborhoods. It's not going to be the wealthy communities. We're going to see these marijuana outlets in fragile neighborhoods, neighborhoods that are already grappling with crime, with youth access to alcohol. It's going to be rather challenging for them to improve their neighborhoods with the addition of marijuana outlets.
Yes. It's horrible.
Yeah, we've spent, if you look at how much effort we have spent on the topic of youth access to alcohol. Alcohol is the #1 drug in youth, use in youth. And we have spent a considerable time with marketing of alcohol, working with local government to make sure that alcohol advertisements are not directed and targeted towards children. We make sure that stores have alcohol not prominently displayed. We've put a lot of effort into making sure that we are safeguarding our youth against access and use of alcohol. We have nothing in Prop 64 that speaks to that concern, not only about access, but about the health consequences of using marijuana. There is nothing in there that gives us the ability to safeguard our children from access to marijuana. It does say that it is regulated for the use of 21-year-olds and over. But it allows 6 plants per person in a household. But it doesn't say what the limit is per, of people. And in those, lower socioeconomic neighborhoods where you have a lot of people living in one house, What do you do to regulate 6 plants per person? Or even in any other community, how do you regulate 6 plants per person? I can't go into a house and say, how many plants do you have? So usually